What are your thoughts on parents that still literally pay for almost everything for their kids?
Every time I see a video of like a teenager or a young adult whose parents are supporting them financially, like, of course, covering their needs, but like majority of their wants too. Do you know what I think to myself? Boy, I hope that can't be me. I don't know. I've never been the person to like go in the comments and write some mean stuff, talking about how spoiled you are, how that's daddy's money, how that's your parents' money, how you'll never know what it's like to be. No, no. Those videos just motivate me to keep my head down and continue to do good in school, because I'm trying to be like them. I would love nothing more in this world than to be able to take care of my children's needs and wants. Like, number one goal on this list, I want to pay for my kids' tuition. Do you understand how much financial freedom you have when you walk out of college with zero debt? That every single check that you obtain after college just goes straight to your account and your expenses? You have no debt? Why would I not want that for my kids? Why do you not want that for someone else's kids? Like, I don't get that. Every time I see one of those videos, I'm just like, God, I hope you bless me enough to do the same for mine. And as someone who grew up in a town where a lot of parents were able to pay for their kids' needs and wants, let me tell you, a lot of them are still very much working. It's just every check that they have starts going into their savings. Like, I had friends in college whose savings accounts were 5 figures from all the money that they've had from working jobs because their parents paid for everything else. I don't know. I just feel like people think that in order to learn how to be a good, functioning, independent human society, you have to know what it's like to struggle and survive. And that's just very much not the case. That's what this country would like to tell you. But you don't need to struggle in order to be a good person. My parents gave me a better life than what they had, and I'm just hoping that I can give my kids a better life than I had, and that the pattern just keeps on moving down the chain.
I do think there's a balance, though, between giving everything to your kids and teaching them some responsibility. That's also very important.
At all. I think any sort of gesture of money is just taken with an appreciation and taken with so much gratitude, regardless of how much it is. I think for them, they feel really attached to paying for a certain aspect of the wedding. For them, I think the whole concept of the marriage is what's most important for them. So they might potentially pay for the ceremony, and I think that's a really nice way to have family pay. I think for my family, I'm an only child. Honestly, well, like traditionally, the bride's parents pay for the whole entire wedding. And I said, you do not have to do that at all. I think any sort of gesture of money is just taken with an appreciation and taken with so much gratitude, regardless of how much it is. I think for them, they feel really attached to paying for a certain aspect of the wedding. For them, I think the whole concept of the marriage is what's most important for them. So they might potentially pay for the ceremony. And I think that's a really nice way to have family pay for a certain aspect of a wedding, something that they might feel more personally attached to. But if your family just wants to contribute a small amount of money and you do with it what you want, then that's even better. But I think it's a conversation people aren't really having. People don't have to disclose it. People can disclose it. Not many people do, but I'm just here having the conversation to just enlighten everyone on how people might be affording weddings in this day and age. It's a helping hand. By no means are we making our wedding bigger and grander because of the money. We're still working within our means. We're still making sure we can afford it. And the money is just taken with so much appreciation and gratitude.
That I was probably daddy's money, and went on to say a bunch of really mean things. I deleted it already because that's what I do when you're being rude and disrespectful, and I originally wasn't going to say anything, but the more I thought about it, the more pissed off I got. First of all, no, it's not daddy's money. I raised myself since I was 11, got a full ride to UC Berkeley, jumped through hoops to get my first full-time job out of college just to be sexually harassed by my boss, got depressed, went broke for 2 years living off of food stamps and unemployment, working part-time as a receptionist before I turned my skills into a business. So fuck you for saying that. Second of all, so what to the girlies who have daddy's money? Good for them that their parents worked hard and planned for their future. Good for the parents for providing their kids a life that we all wish we had. And good for the parents for planning and building generational wealth, something I am busting my ass off to do right now. So check yourself before you come online trying to judge someone else's life, but all you're doing is just projecting your own jealousy.
This morning, I woke up to a message on here from an old boy that said, "You think you're Mr. Billy Badass here on the internet with your Duramax and your Uncle Jay custom boat, running around and going and doing all this stuff." He said, "I just want you to know that we see through all that, and we know that you're running on daddy's money. You ain't nothing special." I don't even know what to say. I just wanted to get on here and let y'all know that I am highly offended by that. Not by the fact that he sent me that message, but by the fact that he thinks I am too good to let another man pay some of my bills. Now, I just want to set the record straight that if any of y'all want to pay some of my bills, you're more than welcome to. Unfortunately for me, I am 100% Spencer Lewis funded. Daddy ain't paying for nothing. Actually, Daddy's been dead since I was 8 years old, so there's that. But I'm not too good to let somebody else pay some of my bills. My pride does not stand in the way. So if y'all want to handle some of these for me, I'll gladly let you. But anyway, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm headed to work because I have to keep the wolf back at the door. Anyway, I'm about sick of these 12-hour shifts. They were kind of cute when I was 18 years old, but here 10 years later, 28 years old, they ain't so damn cute anymore. I got about 30 years left of this shit, and I'm already sick of it. So, yeah, one of y'all wants to step in and start paying some of my bills, I will gladly let you. But until then, I'm going to go shake my moneymaker because it's the only option I got. So, y'all have...
Isn't it sad that you have people on social media that just catch a glimpse of your life and they just hate on you? I get it all the time on my channel. And I don't understand it. It's almost like they don't really have a life, or they're jealous of what you have accomplished. So they try to do anything they can to tear you down. It's sad, really.
Good Tuesday.
Are you always working so hard? Why are you stressing yourself out? It's because I'm trying to give my kids mommy's money. Like, my future kids will have mommy's money. That's not even a question. Duh, they're gonna have daddy's money too, because mommy's not marrying a brokey. But I want their friends to roll up to our mansion house and be like, damn, like, what does your dad do for a living? And my kids start laughing. They're like, actually, it's my mom. Like, oh my God, that just sounds so, that's so sick. Like, hear me out. Just because your future kids are gonna have mommy's money doesn't mean that they shouldn't have daddy's money either. But you can't rely on daddy because daddy could leave. So you need to have mommy's money times daddy's money equals fuck you generational wealth money. So the next time you're feeling a little unmotivated, you're like, why am I calling these leads? Why am I sending out these emails? Why am I knocking on these doors? Think of your future kids, okay? Think of your future kids and who they want mommy to be. Because you work hard now. That way, when it comes to that stage of life, when you want to be a mom, have kids, have that house, you can sit back, have your business already built because you worked so hard in the beginning. And your kids will be like, damn, mom's really that bitch.
We decided to do it for you. So, what do you want to study in college? Thanks so much, Mom and Dad, for investing in my future. I think I'm going to study either philosophy or how to be an influencer. Okay, well, our parents said we could study whatever we wanted, but they weren't paying for our college. So do you think you could study something a little more, I don't know, something that will make you money? Dad, you could easily make money being an influencer. These platforms are going to be around forever. I could just have people watch me play video games. I could talk about politics. Either that or I'll study philosophy and, I'll think really hard for a while. Okay, well, your mother and I worked really hard to save this money. There's like over $120,000 in this account. So, but you know what? Okay, I don't want to upset you. So you could study how to become an influencer. Thanks, Dad. Your soft millennial parenting skills said you should never say no to me, and I wouldn't start now.
Can we talk for a minute about the cost of a college education? I have 5 kids, and yes, I know. I chose to have 5 kids, I get it. But my oldest one started college back in 2006 and ended up dropping out and going a totally different route, not finishing college. Second kid went out of state for school, private school, managed to get himself a academic scholarship to bring it in alignment with what it was to go in state school. Third kid didn't want to go so far away from home, so he went in state. He also got a fantastic job in the computer field as he came out of school. Fourth son, currently out of state at school and will need to get a master's degree for what he wants to do, and that's going to cost him for a long time in his life because he didn't come from parents who can afford to provide a full college education themselves. And we've encouraged him to get scholarships, but that's on him to actually do it, right? Our 5th child, daughter, wants to go out of state for school, and I want to support her on that because if she wants to go out of state and have an experience out of state, that's awesome. But it's going to cost her probably for many years of her life afterwards to do that. And I don't know how much an 18-year-old can understand that. Part of the problem, as I see it, is the ridiculous cost just to get an education. Am I the only parent feeling like it's absolutely ridiculous and the last thing you want to do is have your kid have years of debt ahead of them, even though you want to support their dream?
But the sad thing about what she just said is that 18 years old, all she sees is her friends doing something that she wants to do. She's not considering the cost. She's not considering the after effects, the years of paying down this debt. And just my personal opinion, I think education is overrated. I'm not saying that you shouldn't learn, but the more I look into our education system, it's really a scam. Seriously, they force you to take classes that you didn't sign, that you don't want to take, like those stupid electives. The cost of tuition, the way they brainwash a lot of the kids that are coming into the school. There's so many issues with the current system. Plus, you're not guaranteed to get a job even when you graduate. I can count thousands of people that I know that had a hard time finding a job when they got out of college. And it lasted longer than a year. And a lot of times they ended up getting jobs not in the field that they spent 4 years and probably $100,000 plus to get this education.
I'm glad you brought this up. I don't own a house, but my parents did pay for 100% of my college tuition and paid my rent while I was in college. So similar situation where I got something from somebody. And I think that's totally fine. I hope that one day I can do that for my kids if I have kids, and I'm so grateful my mom did that for me. But the reason that it's like an issue in regards to the Rachel Hollis lady and a bunch of other people that have following is when you are like telling people like, this is how I made so much money, this is how I live my best life, this is how you can change your life, and you don't acknowledge like the massive like boost you got. That's really like, you're not actually qualified to give advice then. And you seem like a very nice person, and so I'm sure you're not going out telling people like, this is your path to financial wellness and owning a home, because both of us got assistance in getting something, so obviously we can acknowledge that.
If you did, you're fine.
Well, I did. I paid for this house. I remember that.
You paid for this house?
Didn't I make a payment to get cover the house?
Well,
I think I did.
if you did, I appreciate it.
Why, isn't this my house?
It is my house, but I appreciate it. Any payment you made toward it would be much appreciated. I don't remember that happening, but
I thought I did. I'm in my mind. And maybe.
Dad, you had your own house and you sold it just a couple of years ago.
I had what?
You had your house and you sold it just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Your money's in the bank, so everything's fine.
I don't know if it's still in the bank.
It's still in the bank. It's in a certificate of
I
deposit.
don't know.
Because I put it there, and I know it's still
I
there.
didn't want to get it out.
You could get it out if you wanted it.
I know I did. I didn't do it.
No, you live with your kids. You don't have expenses.
Oh, I have expenses.
You got insurance. That's about it.
I got car payments too.
No, you don't have any car payments.
Well, I have to drive my car.
Well, the good news is you don't have a car, so you got no payments, you got no insurance, none of that stuff. The good and bad news.
Yeah. All right, Dad. Yeah, so I have no car.
Not anymore, Dad. You don't drive. But you live with your kids, so we drive you wherever you need to go.
I think that is so cool. Both my parents are gone, and I would love to have both of them in my life. My dad died when I was 16, and my mom when I was 31. And I'm now pushing close to 60 myself, and just watching videos like this just kind of warms my heart, because there's no way I would have put my mom or my dad in a home. And I love that this guy is looking after his dad. That's pretty awesome. Anyway, before I start tearing up here, make sure you like this video if you haven't already. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And as always, I love you guys, and I will check you on the next one. Later. Have a good night.